ESL One Genting 2018 is starting to warm up nicely. We are in day number 2 of 6 days of superb Dota 2 action in group stages right now, as we find out which teams are battling to survive and stay in ESL One Genting and go all the way up into the Highlands and play 6,000 feet above sea level in the playoffs. Who's it going to be out of the two we've got right now? We don't know, because we're into game 3. It's Penta Sports versus Evil Geniuses, and we're tied up at 1-1. Back with Fogged and Has to get their thoughts ahead of the draft for game number 3. And Alan, great series for us as the neutrals.
Absolutely.
You know, really interesting, very diverse kind of couple of games, and you know, pick out some really cool stuff that Penta did in game 1, but then pick out some great stuff that EG. Comfort, though, seems to be the watchword of both teams in both games so far.
Maybe. I expected this series to be more competitive than I think a lot of people were making it out to be. Well,
certainly the EG fans that DM'd me earlier saying, this is a 2-0 stomp, why are you showing this game?
Come on, what do you expect? But look, I think there's such a thing as maybe getting a little bit too excited after a win. And I think in that second game, Penta realized that they had this great team fight in game 1, as Fogg was saying before the series. That's something that you want to focus on. Yeah. But you don't want to focus on it so much that you are picking these one-dimensional lineups. And if you look back, again, to when Penta were playing well, they've had some success with the Lycans, with the Weavers, with the more pushing, self-sustaining heroes, and they've gone completely away from that in that Game 2 draft.
All right, let me ask you, Fogg, was it one-dimensional, that second draft? Because, I mean, I thought it was difficult to execute, wasn't it?
It was just hard. Everything about it was hard. It was, sure, they had great team fight, but their lanes were very poor.
But what else? They had the great team fight. What else?
Yeah, exactly. They can't objective taking. Very difficult. They have to play this game ahead. Very hard execution. Yeah, I don't know. It was really tough for me, and it's funny because like both games kind of had similarities, but massive differences in a way. Because it was like kind of one-sided, but much different because EG had just this much stronger draft. While in comparison, Penta in the last game just played incredible. The first game played incredibly good.
We've collectively all discussed the whys and wherefores of EG's change. Whether Sumail suited to 3, whether Fierce suited to the mid, whether they switch it up. They switched it up a little bit at Galaxy Battles as well. They've switched it up again today. We don't have the answers to this, but they seem much better, more comfortable in Game 2. I know it's only one game, but do they stick to that now?
I'll say something here.
Okay.
I love seeing Fear on carry heroes.
Okay.
That is my, like, for always. Every time I've seen Fear playing, man.
I love seeing Fear on tempo carries. I love seeing Fear on Lycan, on Juggernaut, on Sven the way he plays Sven.
Gyro, okay.
Yes,
I'm down for that. Fair enough.
All right, so we're going to move Fear to carry, Sumail back to mid, and Arteezy's going to go off lane.
What won them TI5?
Just move it around, man. Just get the lane matchups.
All right, let's get into draft number 3. Bans,
Same bans,
truly
but
completed.
This time it's Tusk instead of Earth Spirit banned by Penta.
Yeah,
Penta are going to take the PL. Okay. Little mixing things up.
Ha, I like my Fear's reaction was pretty much like ours. He was kind of like, okay then. We baited them. They took it. Interesting. So I did notice at the end of game 2, by the way, when we cut to Penta's there was a bit of consternation in there. They were a bit argumentative. I mean, healthy, I think, in that instance that they're kind of like, guys, what the hell?
Yeah, they had one player in particular that looked quite unhappy. They're not going to call anybody out.
They're a vocal bunch. They definitely were just... It's good to do that, though, right? It's just like, why would we ever do this? It's a little small argument, fine. Get rid of it,
I did wonder whether they might decide to ban this, but they've allowed it to go through, and EG are going to take it.
Yeah, this hero is absurd.
I think both teams, given how prominently these two heroes have featured in the series so far and the tournament so far, both teams know that leaving these two heroes on the table, it's going to get picked against you.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a strong opener.
Yeah, it really is.
Like in Bane. And again, this is for the 3rd game in a row. It's first pick Penta, Dire EG.
Yes, I think EG is pretty clear. They chose the Dire side when they had priority in game 1. It is unusual.
Yeah, most others are focusing Radiant.
Well, Radiant's been, at least in the last patch, Radiant's been better. In this patch, no. First pick Radiant has the advantage, but there are a lot. I see a lot more variety in terms of what side and what pick order teams prefer in this patch than the last.
I mean, Dire just has. It's like you got to weigh these advantages. Radiant has like a little bit of like this Roshan kind of advantage. We were discussing it yesterday. Well, Dire, they have.
I'm a big fan of the whole dual Roshan pits. I think having another Roshan pit at the bottom of the river and having alternate spawns.
Let's get back to this draft.
Well, no, let's talk about this.
I'll leave it off by...
No,
let's talk about
let's talk about
Oh, kill me now.
So they take the Tide right away.
We're filling, Alan.
No, all right. All right, so you got me wanting to talk about it.
We could fill 45 minutes on one that subject alone, let alone this draft, that's for sure.
It's cool, go ahead. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, all right. No worries.
So, OD banned. I think they just realized that Penta was really solid on that hero, honestly.
Yeah, so man, I am a little bit nervous just because in general, dual core opens have gotten punished so severely in like the last 6 tournaments I've watched. I think these are 2 heroes that are on the harder side to counter individually.
I feel like
a few teams have got away with it, though. But we're talking top 3 teams. We're talking the Secrets and Liquids of this world.
Yes.
Look, I never see dual core.
Yeah, it's maybe once in 20 drafts for either team right now.
So they have to get rid of these kind of push heroes, this push lineup with Lycan, of course, so they take out this DK. So probably what, Death Prophet will be the next ban.
Actually, you know what, I don't mind the Tide here because I think Tide, like Sand King over the last season, has gone through this evolution where he's not solely about his ultimate anymore. Tide, with all the changes to Gush and to Anchor Smash, he is a hero that can now get into the backlines and threaten supports a little bit more than he was.
Can get eaten a bit by Lycan, though. Because Lycan is one of those heroes that just do so much damage.
Yeah, when he pops it, yeah.
I mean, it gives EG something to think about as well. Gets them to focus on how do we deal with those 2 rather than what do we want to pick. Can sometimes throw drafters off. Yeah. Not that I'm saying they can throw Misery off particularly, but does give them something different to focus on. Man, it's so weird seeing like the difference in priority in teams. I'm just seeing like PL Tide now, and then PL Tide like Lycan Bane, and what we didn't see anything even close to that yesterday. I mean, also the styles of drafting. Right, when Crit was drafting before, it was almost like a PPD draft where he would be focusing on supports, then he would focus offlane, and then they would focus a carry on the mid, saving them to the last as long as they could in the drafts. They were always about that.
Yeah.
Well, I've said this since 707 was released. I don't think we've seen a settled meta because the meta was still changing very actively up to the end of 706 at ESL One Hamburg, and the changes have kind of kept coming rapid fire since then. We haven't really ever settled down.
Yeah, I mean, some heroes, sure, we're going to share similarities, but other heroes, teams like, look, where's Bounty Hunter, right? Yeah. Secret and Newbie for first 2 picking that yesterday.
So go back to the start of 707, there was no PL.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and say...
Yeah, it was very rare.
I dislike these bans. Let's see what the second one is from Penta, but I think Penta should be banning AoE teamfight.
You don't think they should be banning push?
No. Penta know how to deal with push. And Penta can pick... Penta are good at a number of heroes that are fine at deep push. They can pick Elder Titan themselves.
Yeah, dealing with push is different though when there's something besides a Lycan. Is Lycan really just brute forces things so hard? That's my one concern.
Yeah, you're worried that Lycan and DK are just going to blow you off the map.
Something like just basically like that. Yeah, and I mean DK, he's not bad versus PL by any means.
So EG have had 3 consistent bans in all 3 rounds, right? The CK, the Brew, and the Eng. And the Life Stealer twice now.
So now's where EG would traditionally pick up their second support, their Witch Doctor.
Yeah, they've been leaving Samael for last in most of their picks.
They can go for something like those melee ones, right? Like a Sand King or something.
Yep, Sand King, Slardar would be okay, I think.
Someone we're missing? I mean, the Earth Spirit's still there too, right?
Earth
they wanted it. Earth Spirit or Sand King, I
don't
think,
know, silences lose a lot of value against Tide, though.
Yeah, they do.
Let's just look at that EG team.
There's Earth Spirit anyway.
Yeah, that's just the easy answer. And there's the Elder Titan. This is what I wanted.
The Elder Titan, yeah.
I just think that Elder Titan, it's just like Game 1. You gotta be careful on how you analyze Game 1 because I think it's easy to underestimate how well Penta had to play in those fights to win that game. That the Elder Titan, unless you have another team that is just taking fights and controlling the side lane equilibrium really well, Elder Titan can make it so hard to end the game.
So typically this is usually... Okay.
They're going to go for the Sven.
Very good versus Elder Titan. And you get that plus armor on everybody.
Yep.
And it helps you. This is going to help you siege. Gives them an actual form of lockdown as well. And now we don't... What are the lanes? We got a Lycan and a Sven on the same team. They're just...
Well, same problem as in the last... Yeah. But that's the thing, that it's the same problem in the last game. But then if you have... This is where you're really glad that you have Sam in your ear during the draft. Because these drafts, these sort of flex lane drafts, are so much more powerful when you have that 5th pick trump card that pulls it all together.
So they do leave Smails Hero till last. Now, generally speaking, it's been Arteezy that's ran the Sven, and Fear has run on the Lycan.
Yeah.
But we know that Arteezy can play that Lycan as well, so depends which way they go. But in the last patch, in 707 completely, it's always been Fear on the Lycan and Arteezy on the Sven.
Okay. I was literally about to say, has Penta played much Void? Okay.
I still think it leaves you... Wow. I still think it leaves you very cooldown dependent now.
Exactly, yeah. They really need like Void Elder Titan pretty much every single time for these team fights to go well.
Yeah. I guess 9 plays the Void then? And they leave that tie for the off?
Oh, you mean Arc, right?
Arc. No, Arc's gonna be the PL.
Sorry, yeah,
yeah, because 9 got booted recently.
Yeah. Arc will be
left, we don't know.
PL, Oliver, Void. Yeah.
Do you think Oliver will take the Void?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, it is Penta. This is one of their big strengths too. That all 3 of their cores are somewhat interchangeable. But if you look at how the region's been going, especially the CIS teams have been favoring carry Void.
Is EG looking at Beastmaster here, you think?
Oh, but these aren't the CIS team, Alan.
These are a European team now. Yes,
maybe. I think I like this Wyvern.
Oh,
I actually think EG, they banned the Witch Doctor. That's why I was thinking Beastmaster, and it works so well with the Lycan. But now Wyvern actually might make them not want to pick it so much. But
they seem pretty happy. Yeah, they seem pretty happy with that.
It's really hard to do that.
Really cooldown
this is part of the reason that you see
adjustment.
The dual support opens. It's hard to win the game with a 5th support pick. But this Winter Wyvern is a very, very good
There's a lot of lockdown in this team as well.
Wyvern blows up the Sven. It blows up the team with the Sven hitting it. Wyvern is so sick against Lycan because his own book can kill him so easily.
I really think EG was looking at Beastmaster here, and I think now they're like, okay, we have to switch it up. So, Puck's ban, I think that was the option that they wanted. I think they may still go for the Bat Rider, or maybe they. Man, what's the other one I was just thinking of? I had another one.
I think Bat is so much worse in this game than it was in the last game.
It absolutely is.
You don't think they still go for the Beast?
No, I think Beast with what you have on the table against Winter Wyvern is asking for trouble. I think you can just go, man. Can you Omni? You've been saying it in the first 2 games, Paul.
Yeah, we missed it this time round.
That's a pretty damn good Omni pick versus
this. It is.
Repel and GA versus all this mass AoE team fight.
This is a really good draft. This is a draft where it came down to both teams had really good 5th picks, and whoever picked last was going to have the advantage. And I think EG picked well enough to give them that advantage.
I think both teams seem happy with their drafts, though, Fogged.
This is really good.
Yeah, I think EG's. I was saying it before. I think the faster-paced teams usually have been looking more successful for me. So I think EG's is just a bit more fast-paced, and Penta's too cooldown reliant.
Okay, so you're going with EG.
Yeah, I think Lycan's also just
no surprise there whatsoever. The former EG player fanboy.
Thanks.
I got to go with EG. I
hear it every time.
But I think Penta has a real chance. I think Penta has a real chance in this game.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah. This is not a stomp.
All right, I like that. No, okay. He's not fully confident on the Penta hype train, but he's not far off it, is he? Which way do you go? Let us know via all the social media channels. Hashtag ESL One as we head into game number 3. Penta Sports versus Evil Geniuses. All yours, boys.
Thank you very much, Red Eye. And indeed, the deciding game between these two sides. The last game, of course, for one of them, EG versus Penta. Wow. Game 3. And there's a Sven, this time in the hands of EG. Penta couldn't do it. Can EG show Penta how to do it?
I don't know, man. I am not a big believer in this hero, I will say. However, Arteezy has looked very impressive on the Sven in some of his most recent games. I would say, in fact, the most impressive Sven I've seen lately. I believe they even actually lost that game. But the way he was making these big maneuvers and big plays, he was just... You have to do that stuff as Sven. You know, you got to find that big fight that brings you back in the game, and it was one of those moments where he was really able to succeed on the Sven with something like that. So we'll see if he can do it again. The last pick, Omni, we were kind of discussing the other possible option. I think probably would have been the Abaddon. We've seen a lot of teams go for that, so you can use the ulti to take off the Ravager yourself, and then you pop the shield on someone else, and you counter out that way. But with so much wombo combo as well, looks like DNZ is...
Oh, he's going to get the stomp! He's going to be fine! Oh, no, actually, he's not. Wow, he's got the roll back up in 5 seconds. I think is he going to go for it, Crit?
Oh,
nah, he can't.
He's
there's too much there. He gets away.
Right, okay. But yeah, with all the wombo combo, I think Abaddon probably wouldn't have worked out too well. You're dealing with Chronospheres, you're dealing with the stomps. You know, there's only so many things that you can use that shields over and over, whereas just the permanent repel and a little bit easier to execute GA is a better choice in my opinion. So I like that aspect of EG's draft, but overall, I'm more favorable towards the Penta one. I feel like if I saw EG with that Penta draft, I would be like, this game's over. Like, good luck.
They do still have strong heroes. Oh, here we go. We'll watch it again. I mean, how low did he get?
This time?
How low did he get? 10 8 or 9 8 HP it went down to. Oh, that was a close one, DNZ.
Oh, and look, the pause is over. These replays are great. Just getting right through things here.
There we have it. I think one thing though that EG will also be pretty happy with is getting Fear on the Lycan again. He had a very good Lycan game. Top of the net worth for pretty much the majority of that game too. So we'll see if he can once again pull out a similar performance. It's going to be maybe a little bit harder. He's not in that side lane. He is going to be taking the Lycan towards the mid, where he's going to find the PL and the Wyvern. But I imagine is this EG getting the matchups that they want, or is this Penta getting the matchups they want?
Overall, it looks pretty good for EG, I would say. I'm pretty content with where I'm sitting right now. Fear is going to be the big question mark, but if he can survive to level 3, second Feral Impulse, things will be good. Overall, I like the way that they've been maneuvering around in terms of like the net worth distribution and just how much farm everyone's getting. The past few days, almost like the full week now, we've just been seeing Fear on DP or DK, and he's been very lackluster in terms of like what they're giving him in terms of net worth and everything. He only has so much he can do with that much gold. That's the role that they're being handing over to him. But last game on that Lycan, that was the Fear that we want. You know, this guy's getting really aggressive, gets some gold, makes things happen across the map. So see if he can do that again here in this mid lane setup.
Boogie getting the taunts out down bottom, trying to do his best to disrupt the farm of Arteezy, but at the moment not looking to be too easy for the Tide to do so. So Artor is more than fine, 6 for 4 CS, and Boogie being zoned out by the presence of the Bane as well mid lane. Just looking again from the Wyvern to try and harass Fear down. But as you say, he's hitting level 3. He's, I believe, to have the ring, of course, queued up first. And as soon as he has those in his tool set, the regen's going to be more than enough to help sustain him against that aggression.
9-1 already? 10-1. He looks great. He's being pressured by 2 heroes, but he's the Lycan.
He's playing it very nicely mid. There. And here we have already the tasty 7 regen, and for each 300 gold, once he has both of the rings, they're going to need more than 2 heroes to harass that Lycan out of lane, and that's something that Penta might not be interested in. They're maybe more focused on trying to put their efforts elsewhere. At the moment, it's a lot of focus on Sumail. They do have the 3 heroes up here. Looking for a bit of a setup with the Stomp, bringing RMN forward, but there's the backup from Crit, comes in with the roll to slow down Oliver. In return, RMN will get the slow burn onto both of them. Crit falling very low. They don't want to dive it. They know Sumail's there. He's got that level 2 in the purification. It's very hard for these 3 heroes up top for Penta to make a go. But at the same time, it feels like there's not really a lane where there's a clear place for Penta to make the plays early on. And now EG, they're actually looking to try and fight back into this one as Crit rolls back forward. It may cost him his life. Can they get the first kill? DNZ falling low. They can't. DNZ's going to be able to get away. And with that bash, Penta will be the ones to get first blood. It looks so close to EG being the ones to find the successful kill, but they just couldn't get it.
Yeah, very nice for the side of Penta. They're trying to find something with these 2 heroes. As you said, not the best like roamers and gankers necessarily. They're just trying to secure this. You're in a tough matchup with the Omni Knight. You can pretty much 1v1 anyone, so you might as well bring the supports up here and try and help out Oliver a little bit. And compared to Crit and his game 1 on the Elder Titan, it looks like DNZ's going to have a much nicer time this game. You know, Fogged, he's been going on about this Elder Titan.
I mean, it is a great
hero. He spams it. You know, I don't want to slander the guy, but he plays a hell of a lot of Elder Titan. And I know that he gets very excited when he sees heroes like Winter Wyvern or Faceless Void or Tidehunter on his team. All these big AoEs. Yeah, that's what Elder Titan needs to build off of. That's what Crit was missing when he was playing the hero in game number 1. So DNZ certainly has a big opportunity in this match to really take over as long as the rest of the team can make it to that mid game either ahead or at least some sort of an even pace with EG.
Now Misery making sure that Boogie doesn't find much at all from that bottom lane. Only 2 CS on this Tide, getting pretty much nothing because of this the way that Bane is able to keep him
with
right
Arcane Room.
Wow, that's
filthy.
Good luck with trying to get yourself close with the amount of saps and nightmares. Still, early days. The CS does look very good for EG. Just the 3 heroes and 3 cores sort of matched against each other. EG with the lead in all of them. And in fact, with that brain tap, Boogie's falling low, and I think he may have just given up his life. With a nightmare, buys time for Misery to get some free hits in, and the final touch from Arteezy to seal the deal gets EG the kill. At the same time up top though, Sumail falling low. In fact, I don't think he's getting out of this one. Purification still on cooldown for a couple of seconds. Can he do it? He cannot. The final right click from DNZ takes down the Omni Knight. So Penta do find a kill in return. But I'm looking at the farm on both Arteezy and Fear. It's looking pretty scary for Penta. Both of these big cores are getting the big starts that they need, and we saw what they were able to do with that in Game 2.
Yeah. Looks like Sumail maybe punished a bit there just because of crit rotating around, grabbing bounty runes, stacking some camps. A lot easier on the bottom half of the map where Misery is just lurking near Arteezy the entire time. He just goes and stacks the Ancients, and then just goes back to harassing Boogie and giving him a terrible life. I mean, both of them level 3. That's an excellent goal as a support. When you can keep the offlaner at your own level, you feel very good about the situation.
Oh, crap. Off from the high ground.
Felt like DNZ just walked right past. Hello. There he is.
He's going to get him out of the neighborhood. RMM will be there as well, but Crit, of course, will be fine. Rolls himself up to the high ground. But as you say, definitely the biggest issue is the Tide this game. Like how, in terms of for Penta, how much he's going to be able to actually do for the side, because Boogie, he's level 3, it's the same as the supports, and he is getting absolutely nothing from this offlane.
I think the way EG have this set up with the Sven too, this kind of shows what I think Penta were trying to do last game when they put the Sven mid. Because the support wants to camp with the Sven, but he also needs to be stacking Ancients. And you can do that from the Radiant mid, but you can't do that from the Radiant offlane or safe lane. You know, the Ancients just aren't close enough to actually do that effectively. Whereas on the Dire side, you're running the Sven in the offlane. This is great for Misery. He's keeping the creeps near the tower from the Sven just by controlling the wave, and then Misery's able to keep stacking these Ancients. So
yeah.
That gold's going to be stacking up much easier for the Sven this game, and going to make the hero look a hell of a lot better than when Penta played it.
Towards the mid lane, here goes Misery. Has that DD with a Nightmare. It's going to buy him time to get a few right clicks in if he wishes to do so. Will be actually taken off nicely by the illusion of Arc, allowing him time to doppelganger up to the high ground. Fear continuing to chase though with the shapeshift and Crit's control from the boulder smash. Buys some time. Arc able to get himself to the side with the rush, and that is it going to be enough to save him? Fear looking to chase the stomp from DNC, doesn't quite catch the Leica, but the body blocks isn't enough. Arc's juking around. No, he still goes down. Arc will fall. And at the same time, it's a double kill for Misery. The DD Bane having full impact on that mid lane with Fear and Crit ready to dive in and dive in deep. And it's the great thing with any sort of hero that can commit like an Earth Spirit with the Lycan. They're just going to run at mid lane at this point of the game, and there's not much you can do without mass TP rotations, and they just didn't come out from Penta.
Yep, ideal hero to go for. Yeah. Really try and slow down this PL. And with the build now these days, where everyone's maxing the Phantom Rush, just not going to be a very difficult kill to get in comparison to maybe even like maxing Phantom Lance or something, and like just throwing out some lances at this guy would have been feeling a lot better.
I'm going to look towards Fear. I know he hasn't got that ultimate. It's not to set up time for them to come close and surround him. They should be able to claim this kill, so they will be able to punish Fear for sticking around a little too long. I'll say that. It's they'll get it. DNZ. Oh, there we go. The regen of the Wolfman, not quite strong enough. We'll need a buff.
Some space created right there, so they're going to try and put a deep ward in there from the Wyvern. Maybe keep an eye on some of these Sven plays, but he's mostly playing still in the Southern Hemisphere. Man, he's going way around. All right, I love this. See it? Like, the Wyvern goes in there, up the staircase, and he's looping all the way back around with the smoke to try and get some wards down over here. And this is going to allow them to try and contest this Ancient stack when it happens. Do they have the heroes for it? They do. They have a Chronosphere. He can TP relatively closely on the Shrine. They have the Elder Titan. They have the Wyvern. That's the big game plan now for Penta.
Look at this down bottom. Poor old Boogie. He's having a rough one down, and not only is he getting enough, he has got the backup of his friends, though. DNC comes in with a stomp. It's not going to be enough to save him, though. And in fact, DNC has to be a bit careful himself. There's still 3 heroes here ready to surround him. Ironman does come in, trying to help DNC stay alive. Crit Misery falling low. It's a nice chrono. We'll catch both of them. Arteezy gets away, but the 2 supports will pay for this. As Misery taken down, Oliver, great rotation, comes in with that chrono and secures himself a double kill.
Yep, and that should be back up and ready again by the time Arteezy tries to get those Ancients as well, so they're still going to be ready to contest. You know, he's still a ways away. Not too farmed yet on the Sven, not too many levels, and some space created for the PL mid. So breaking down the net worth chart at this point, you can see the Sven and the Lycan are looking quite hardy. There is the Void, but then there's also the Omni. We haven't seen Sumail in a while. That pressure's been very relieved off him up there.
He's getting aggressive. He's level 8. He sees a level 5 Tide. He starts running at him, and so does Fear and Crit. Coming in with the Shapeshift, the Boulder Smash, the Purification, more than enough burst to bring down this very much starved Tide Hunter who's had this tough start. At any time he comes to lane, he is going to get run at. Not only something you'd expect with a Tide, it's not the hero that you do dive upon, but when he's as sort of low level as Boogie is, you're going to go for him every time with these heroes.
Backed up with Purification as well, heavy pure damage to rip right through that Kraken shell. And Fear, how about the way he's been playing with his Helm and the Dominator? Everyone's been so focused about getting it around that 5-minute mark, getting the catapult, using that for the push and the pressure, but he's much more concerned about getting some kills. You know, he's been grabbing the Centaurs, he's been grabbing the Hellbears, he just runs at someone and tries to break them down before there's any sort of response from the side of Penta. So what they were missing in Game 1, you know? There was just none of this pressure.
Not just in Game 1, but some of the other games that we've seen from EG recently. This sort of decision to run it like this, you know, sort of straying away from the DPs, the DKs, having Fear on this hero is Lycan. I mean, granted, Lycan is a very strong hero at the moment, but Fear is playing it on another level.
Yeah, he's actually stepping out of lanes, you know? Before he was just, he'd park in one lane, he would go until he TP'd out. Now he's moving through the jungles, getting out of the vision of the enemy team and making some surprise plays because of it. Misery trying the same thing here with a smoke.
Oh, he's got the Fiend Script to set up. There's the 3 members of EG coming forward. I don't know if there's any chance of this Void surviving. He's getting himself sometime with the Cold Embrace. Will he be able to tumble up? He will. Oh, he gets it off. There's not quite enough control after the Cold Embrace to keep that man in place. And now Penta, they're going to be able to turn it around. They turn towards Misery, take down the Bane, and the rest of EG forced away. Very nice save from the Wyvern. I thought Crit might have had enough control between the silence and the stun afterwards, but it didn't seem like he did.
Yeah, had to burn it all, and they couldn't get in there with Arteezy either, just because of the spacing from the Wyverns. Excellent positioning there, able to save his life. But Fear's ready again. Ulti probably almost back up here.
May not even need it for this one if they can get close, but okay.
Yeah, there it is now. So it's a bit late, perhaps. Oh, he's thinking about it? No.
I mean, it'd be
I'm worried about this guy,
with the Cold Embrace, it's like, you know, it's going to be like, sure, he might get it, but the chances are TPs are going to come in. He's going to be in a very bad position, especially with Oliver TPing down here. Chronosphere back online. And Fear would be a lovely target. If you can take him down, especially when he's got that ult, he's going to be held in place by the sleep. Oliver comes in. There's the Chrono into the ultimate from the Elder Tide. Do they have enough damage to bring him down before he's able to run away with that movement speed? They do not. Fear will be fine. Not quite enough damage with the committal of both of those ultimates. He'll get away. Top lane, Sumail. Should be fine. He's out of mana, but the Soul Ring's back up in a second.
And I don't know if you noticed, but Sven is quite fat because he found that stack. He got it done, and the contest wasn't there.
This Arteezy Sven. I mean, he had an incredible start there. 100 CS at 12 minutes in. That's more than enough for Arteezy. Bottom lane, Oliver. He's being hunted. At the time, we'll be fine. But yeah, these 3 big cores of EG certainly proven to be issues. And as we saw there, Penta don't get anything done with the Chrono, with the split from the Elder Titan. There's very little they can do during the downtime. But EG's just going to run at them because EG know that they have such a strong upper hand. And with the Fiend's Grip onto the Void, I don't know if he's getting out. I said that last time. This time, it's for sure. Crit is able to follow up the Fiend's Grip with the lockdown. That's only going to get worse and worse.
7k lead. This is a Sven game, you know, being so far ahead. This looks like the EG that we're expecting.
There we go. They're going to look to try and control us, man. He does have a Purification and a Drum Charge.
They've lost the bottom tower during this.
Ow! He's trying to get out, and he's actually going to make it as well. They just don't have quite enough damage. He's too beefy with that drums.
Costly error for Penta.
I mean, that's a Winter's Curse. We've seen numerous big ults used, and nothing has been found with them for Penta Sports. This is a massive worry for a lineup that is so reliant on just finding objectives with those cooldowns.
Yeah, I will say it's a little bit easier this game, I would say, for Penta to try and get back into it. Darkseer, much harder to set up for with all those other wombo combos in comparison to Faceless Void. So if they can try and go by chrono and have being backed up by the Curse, by the Ravage, as well as by the Elder Titan, there's a chance they can kind of claw their way back into this game. It's certainly not going to be easy.
Oh, look, they found the Elder Titan, but they don't want to go for the dive. Boogie's coming in with the TP. They know a Ravage is available. Crit tries to roll away. Nice body block from Arc. That should secure them the Earth Spirit kill. So will indeed. They pick that one up. More money into the bank for Arc. He needs it. Still quite the difference between those cores and RTZ. 8k net worth on Sven as he continues to farm up an absolute treat camp to camp. SMY on its way out in its full completion, and now we'll go straight towards the Blink Dagger.
Even doing the exact same build. And yet,
That's
a
true.
much different game and much earlier.
Oh, Oliver has walked into a Necro-Army. They do have the chrono, but do they have the damage? I don't think they do. Again, 2 ultimates used, and they're not doing anything with it. It's
and
just
he's
not
spreading
enough.
his units from the hero, so the Curse can't even be used on him. Fear. Excellent job.
And now
here.
RMN's out of mana. Meanwhile, Sumail's been able to take down Boogie, and now Crit coming in with the punish. This is all falling apart for Penta. This is getting pretty brutal. If they can't find the opportunity to do anything in these big team fights, I don't know how they can do it. Mid lane, trying to go in onto Misery, but RTZ's there. Oh, Misery will get the Fiend's Grip onto the wrong one. He does survive, though. It's fine. He lives. Doesn't get the kill, which would have been the dream for RTZ, being able to cut down Arc's PL. But what's the plan for Penta? I feel like they've just got to smoke up. They've got to do something much more coordinated to really get back into this one.
Yeah, they can't afford those like chronos that just don't get a kill. They have to be perfect.
Should be a free one. Misery. That's the main down. But yeah, they need these big cores. They have to get one of the 3 cores of
His
EG.
his life's not gonna be very easy though, because Oliver. Yeah, he's put the Vanguard first. He's trying the Vanguard
Oh
Radiance.
no, and look at this. Ravage will be there. Buys him time. Oliver doesn't have the chrono for 60 seconds. He's trying to get himself away. Penta, they're doing their best to turn this one as they're going on Crit. Take down him. They'll turn towards Arteezy, but Arteezy is doing a lot. Winter's Curse isn't going to pull Arteezy in, so Sumail will be fine. Arteezy just dives under the tower, takes the life of the Wyvern. Penta desperately hoping to try and get something in response, but the GA comes through. They can't punch into Arteezy for now, but it's a good sleep, holding him in place, so after the GA runs out, they may be able to continue to chase. Arc jumps forward with the double gale, but Arteezy just turns. He doesn't even need the God Strength to push them away with the right clicks that he's dealing with the SMY at this stage. And look at bottom lane. They lose Arc mid. Bottom lane Fear is pushing in onto your Axe. Penta are just getting pulled apart. They'll have to pop the fortification and force Fear back. But EG, they are continuing to maintain this very strong and early lead. 11k net worth advantage, 16 minutes in. And this is... It's feeling like such a scary game for Penta. The split push threat, the fact that the RTZ Sven is as big as it is at this stage, and EG going into Roshan. Can Penta really do anything? I think they're going to have Chronosphere back up soon, but the other ults, they've already been used.
Yeah, you often hear in terms of like drafting from caps and everything, this idea of like they have so much team fight, like you can either go more team fight and you try and just keep matching and matching and matching, or you just go split push. And you're like, okay, we're just going to dodge your fights. You know, your catch overall isn't that amazing from the side of Penta, and so Fear just always has his mind on these racks, always splitting the waves, and Penta, Mr. Oliver, I don't know, man. Like, I heard them debating about who Oliver was going to play. And they're like, do you think it's going to be Oliver Void or Oliver PL? And the first thing that came to my head was, well, you know, Void is better with Radiance. And I actually just, that was a joke. I didn't think he would actually do it.
He's doing it in the old classic one that was about when Wagger started doing it on his stream.
The
Vanguard Radiance.
It's too bad. He's on the other stream, too. He would love this right now.
Well, I mean, it's not doing too great, so I don't know how much he'd love it.
Yeah, you have to actually finish the Radiance for it to be the build, I suppose. So we'll see if that actually happens this game.
We'll see the hunting from Misery has got a Fiend's Grip with Time Warp for Oliver.
This is space creative.
That's true.
Yeah, like, this Void is not. Where's that Radiance come from? You can't get in the trees. They do not grow on trees, it turns out.
I mean, well, if you're Sumail, apparently they do, because he's managed to get his in a matter of minutes. It's going to be nearly complete on Sumail. Oh, they've got a Chrono. TP will be cancelled, so Sumail is on his own. They have got the rest of EG coming through. Can they kill Sumail in time? He's got the Purification and will be bashed up. They do get a big kill onto Sumail as he was closing in on the Radiance. That will put the recipe on hold for a little bit. So Penta do manage to take down one of the cores, this time with their ults. About 600 gold away from Radiance on Sumail's Omni Knight. Arteezy, he's actually charging across. They do want to continue to try and take this fight. They've got the Fiend's Grip. Stun from Arteezy on the sidelines, cutting down the Wyvern, making sure there's no chance for a Cold Embrace or Winter's Curse. They're spells from Crit will miss initially, but it doesn't matter. They find Oliver in the tree lane. He's got one more time walk. There'll be the blink forward. Same time down bottom though. Fierce trying for the wrap. Boogie will hold him in place with the Ravage. Oliver will get taken down with the God Strength from RTs. There is enough damage, and it looks like down bottom, the Ravage, sure it stops the push, it's not going to get the kill. Fear just pops the shapeshift, and he's able to run himself away.
You can even see just the concerns of Arteezy this game. He doesn't really care. He's like, what's the point of buying a BKB? I'm up against Chrono, I'm up against Winter Wyvern, so he's thinking, I'll just get an Orchid, because I have to focus the Wyvern anyway, and then I also want to stop the Void from getting his Time Walk off if we don't have the stuns in time or the silences from the Earth Spirit. So, excellent choice by him. We'll see if he goes for it, but I think that's definitely the right way to play this one after the blink. And I am very scared if I want to try and approach this one. DNZ just trying to zone them out with the Spirit and Stomp. 80 gush damage from Boogie. That is not often taken. I can tell you that much.
It's not indeed. Normally, yeah, the 25 movement speed.
He's got that medallion, though, you know. That's the value.
I guess.
That's not how it works.
No. Wow, you're confusing me now. Come on, you're meant to be the analyst.
Sorry,
you know the smart
sorry.
stuff.
I shouldn't be so rude. No.
Sure, Anchor Smash might be a bit.
He needs a Veil for that one. That's the build, clearly. But anyway, not going to be happy.
Veil
this game.
Tide.
The next level. When we had our Veil, what, Witch Doctor? That was a good game.
Yeah, who was that? That was a solo, wasn't it? Yeah. We had the brown boots failed. Witch Doctor. But this game, at least, they do have that team fight. That's the thing. But then again, that's what we were saying with the Darkseer. But also what you said, it's a little easier to execute with these heroes because they don't have a Darkseer. It might be there for Penta, but overall, this is EG looking very different to the EG we saw in Game 1. It's been a series that's just been on the up and up. After the end of Game 1 for EG, as Game 2 looked great in Game 3. This is, more looking to be what maybe people have expected. When they sort of see the names, these players in this sort of matchup, they might not know too much about Penta, obviously, would be seen as the underdogs in this matchup, and this sort of this difference between the sides is certainly what I think a lot of the viewers at home would have been expecting to see. If you're EG, you do expect to have quite a lead in this matchup.
And there have been some issues with those EG standards lately.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
They're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, but this is more what the EG fans at home will be expecting to see from them. So Oliver down bottom. He's caught up. He does have the time walk. And will be able to TP back to safety from mid lane. RTZ's going in onto DNZ on the Elder Titan. Will keep himself alive. Cold Embrace is there just in time. Turn attention towards Arc. Doppelganger's back up to the high ground. EG will find the space to claim a tier 2. Oliver comes in. The Chrono and Winter's Curse being used at the same time. A little awkward, but it works out in the terms of setting for the Ravage and the Elder Titan Ultimate, but it's not enough damage to get the kill. Now Arteezy is ready to respond. Heading forward. Fiend Script's there from Misery, holding the Void in place. Penta, they've lost one. Arteezy blinking up to the high ground, pushing the rest of Penta back. Iron Man on the sidelines being beat upon by Fierce Lycan. He'll Cold Embrace himself up, but he's held in place. The Necro Army brings him down. 2 down on Penta. Arc's gone as well. Arteezy just blinking in. Kill to kill to kill. Double kill for him. Crit rolls in. Will be held back by the 3-man sleep, but there's 4 heroes dead on Penta. On their last lifeline here at ESL Genting. They will hold on for now. They've still got a fortification. They do have buybacks on both the PL and the Void, but EG, they claim bottom lane. They move straight towards mid. They'll get 2 sets of racks for sure out of this, maybe more. We'll see. Arc has brought back, but the ults aren't there. Again, Penta, they threw everything into that last fight, and they still couldn't come out on top. And with the Necro Books back up, EG, Fear will move for more onto the top lane. They've got the stun onto Arc, holding him back. Crit there with the Boulder Smash follow-up. What can Penta do? Oliver jumps in, but he hasn't got a Chrono available. Arteezy repelled up, turns straight towards the Void. Cold Embrace will be there to buy Oliver some time. Boogie's not going to be quite as fortunate, though. Arteezy cuts through the tide. Winter's Curse will mean the death of Misery, as Misery gets beaten down by his own teammates. In response for his performance in Game 1, Arteezy gets the stun onto the Wyvern, cuts them down. This game is more than over. Triple kill for Arteezy. Will he get a rampage? I don't think he will. He's not going to get the chance to. GG is called. Penta Sports comes the end of their line here at ESL Genting, and EG clean things up after Game 1. Step it up to another level.
Victory.
Look at that.
Oh my god, they are jumping with joy. Oh,
wow.
I believe that says expected. That's what that says to me. You know, they were like, okay guys, we dropped Game 1.
They're probably still thinking about Game 1, isn't it? For EG, I think you're going to be happy that you did win the series, of course, but this isn't necessarily a series that you should be celebrating about for them. They get knocked down, they have a rough performance in game 1, they do manage to get through, but they are going to have to continue to step it up as the tournament goes on.
Yeah. A very nice case study, though, to just kind of watch that Sven and the development between, like, the difference between Game 2 and Game 3 on those two different teams, and how that Sven operated in the first 10 minutes of the game. Because he just got so farmed, excellent work by the supports, great positioning on the lanes, and they made sure that he exploded in net worth at the beginning of the game when they had to.
Oh, and we have it, ladies and gentlemen. EG able to successfully move on as they knock out Penta 2-1 in this series. We'll pass you back to Paul and the panel.
Thanks very much, Owen and Trent, on the commentary there from a brilliant series as far as we're concerned in terms of the neutrals. But I guess EG fans will be quite happy and relieved that their team have made their way through. Commiserations to Penta Sports, who unfortunately crash out at the first stage in the lower bracket. Let's break things down. We're back with Nahaz and Fogged once more at the desk here. Fogged, we'll start with you. In the end, a bit of a stomp, frankly, in that last game.
I think this one was
necessarily what we were expecting.
This one, I looked and I felt it was just so ultimate reliant, and they don't really, you look at it and you're like, there's a chrono and they have Elder Tide, and you're like, oh yeah, they have things to throw in the chrono, but when you really look at the rest of it, what else is in that chrono? Wyvern is, sure, you have like a Splinter Blast, but it's not like these like big damage instances, like Ravage. Then you're throwing like these weird, this is weird. It's not like these
damage
like other ones.
Was the key, wasn't it? Yeah. Where was it?
It was weird, and then the lanes as well just were an absolute blunder.
Yeah.
Like, EG just got pretty much everything they wanted. Absolute free farm Sven versus a PL, the dream.
Yeah, and it was fantastic for EG, Alan, wasn't it?
Oliver compounded that issue that Fogg brought up by going the Vanguard Radiance build. That was a really strange decision to me. So much for not a stomp. In this meta, it's before 20 minutes. There are just a very small set of circumstances under which kills are that impactful. You look up 14 minutes into this game, Penta's ahead 7 kills to 6. EG has an 8K gold advantage, and it was just all about going back to EG Dota. The winning formula for EG has not changed since well before TI.
Play like EG.
We are going to passively farm. We're going to get more out of the map.
Yep.
We are going to pressure you because you are always going to know if you sit back, we're going to outfarm you.
And better heroes for it too this time around. Just naturally, like you can just look at it. Sure, they're ahead by a good margin this game, we'll say, right? But we look at these last hits. So PL 174, Void 109. Then look at EG's. Sumail, Omni Knight 145, Fear 174, RTZ 211. Those numbers are much higher, and it's on 3 different ones, and they were getting kills afterwards. So it just felt much more natural for them to get that farm advantage.
The difference in Game 1 just couldn't be more stark. It's just that you had EG in Games 2 and especially Game 3, they had a plan for each lane, how they were going to maximize the efficiency of each core, how they were going to move around the map, get everybody off to a lead. In Games 2 and 3, every hero had a part, and you knew what they were going to do in the game.
And I want to talk about the cores a lot here because like they did play it up, but I think it's actually a lot on the supports this time because Game 2 and 3, they didn't have this passive type of thing. They had these more aggressive ones that could make plays and moves around the map to solidify their cores to get that farm.
The Bane's a big pick for them, I think.
Yeah,
I really do.
So if I was Penta, I would just rewatch Game 1 over.
I mean, we're seeing highlights, and we've not really talked about any of the highlights in this game, but there weren't many like big moments in the game. It was just constant pressure, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that's the way that the game is played right now. The teams that do the constant pressure normally tend to win.
And that was but that again, you go back to why has EG been so good for so long? Yes, Sumail is a highlight reel player, but EG have never been a highlight reel team. Beyond the iconic moments, the $6 million Echo Slams, EG wins by being better and getting more out of the map than you do. And this really is a return to form for a team that I felt like has struggled to find their roles over the last couple of weeks.
They still definitely have a lot to improve on, though. The fact that now it's like, okay,
I was going to say,
they needed this Lycan, they needed this kind of like draft advantage to really come out so far ahead over a team like Penta. How are they going to match versus these better teams up forward?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough bracket, though, isn't it? Because only one team goes through from that lower bracket, too. I mean,
it's going to be
really tough for them still. Can you see him coming out? Are they still in the mix? Has that given them the shock wake-up call that they needed?
I can see them coming out just because I think that there's, again, EG have their problems, but I still look at the 5 players on their roster, and I think their ceiling is still a top 4 TI team, regardless of how shaky their recent form has looked.
Okay, let's check in with the bracket and bring you right up to date as to where we are, because we have had 2 matches, of course, today, both in that lower bracket. Penta Sports 1, Evil Geniuses 2, EG advancing, and in the other match, that's been over for quite some time, frankly. Minescu 2, LFY 0. I think LFY have played a total of about an hour and a half's worth of Dota at ESL One Genting, and that's being generous.
Yeah. The nightmare.
They've been absolutely dreadful. Yeah. I hate saying that about this team, because I like the team. I think 4 months ago, we looked at this team as being one of those potential teams that could break out and they could be a big team this year. They had a great result, obviously, at TI, and then you look at them and you think, they've got all the things they need in this team, all of them.
They were inspiring teams to like change draft decisions.
Absolutely.
And stuff too. Like, that was the biggest thing for me, is when people are all picking one thing and then you're just like, this is actually what you do, and everybody's like, oh.
Yeah, a meta-defining Chinese team.
Yeah.
And we're looking at them now, and they are awful right now. But it's just nothing working for them. They've made a change that hasn't worked either.
It's just, you know what? I feel like this happens every year with. There's at least one of the Chinese teams.
It's January, Alan.
Goes and
They're
plays
supposed to
MMOs.
Be good.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
They're supposed to be good in January, aren't they?
Well,
is that the law?
Yes, but this is just a team that's done nothing all season long.
Yeah, but it's January.
Well, but when you're not playing the scrims, it doesn't really matter.
But it's January! It obviously doesn't work for every single team in China, the January curse for LFY. Unfortunately, they are going home very early on. We're headed to a break right now. Of course, we've got 2 more best of 3s to come today. And next up, oh, save me! I can't wait for this one.
Works out the terms of setting for the Ravage and the Elder Time Ultima, but it's not enough damage to get the kill. Now Arteezy is ready to respond, heading forward. Fiend Scripts there from Misery, holding the Void in place. Penta never lost one. Arteezy blinking up to the high ground, pushing the rest of Penta back. Ironman on the sideline being beat upon by Fierce Lycan. He'll cold embrace himself up, but he's held in place. The Necro Army brings him down. 2 down on Penta. Ark's gone as well. Arteezy just blinked.